I died on my 30th birthday, choking on champagne while my husband laughed with his mistress in our bedroom. That was 6 months ago, except it wasn't. I'm standing in our apartment again, but my phone says it's 2 years earlier. My hands are 27 years old. The engagement ring Marcus gave me, the one I pawned to pay for my mother's funeral in my first life, glitters on my finger, pristine and new. My heart is hammering because I know exactly what's about to happen. In approximately 4 minutes, Marcus will come home early from his business trip to surprise me. He'll have flowers, grocery store roses because he's cheap when it comes to me, and he'll ask if we can talk. He'll confess that he's been emotionally distant and wants to work on our marriage. What he won't confess is that he's been sleeping with Vivian Chen, his coworker, for 8 months, or that she just broke up with him because she got engaged to someone else, or that I'm his consolation prize, his safety net, his backup plan. In my first life, I believed him. I took him back. I tried harder. I ignored the lipstick stains and the late nights and the way he flinched when I touched him. I spent 2 more years shattering myself into smaller and smaller pieces, trying to fit into the shape of a wife he could love. Then on my 30th birthday, I came home early from my mother's funeral, the one he didn't attend because of a crucial client meeting, and found him in our bed with Vivian. She was back in his life by then, her engagement having fallen through. They were drinking the champagne I'd bought to toast my promotion. When I collapsed, unable to breathe through my shock and grief, they thought I was being dramatic. I choked on my own tongue. An allergic reaction to shellfish in the champagne cocktail, the autopsy said. Marcus had forgotten about my allergy when he made the drinks. He inherited everything. The apartment was in his name. My savings, what little I'd scraped together, went to funeral costs. My mother had died 3 weeks earlier, destitute because I'd drained my accounts to pay for her care while Marcus forgot to transfer money he'd promised. Vivian moved into our apartment before my body was cold. But here's what Marcus doesn't know, what he can't know. I woke up. I woke up in this body, in this timeline, with every memory intact, every betrayal, every lie, every moment of humiliation burned into my brain like scar tissue. I have lived through his apology tour. I know every word he's about to say, and this time, I'm going to use it. The door clicks open, right on schedule. Babe, you home? Marcus's voice carries that careful, tender quality he uses when he wants something. I take a breath and school my features into the expression I wore last time. Hopeful, fragile, desperate for things to be okay. I step out of the bedroom. You're back early? He's holding the roses, 12 of them, because a dozen would be too expensive. His handsome face arranges itself into contrition. Marcus is beautiful in the way that dangerous things are beautiful. Sleek, polished, designed to attract and destroy. Dark hair, perfectly styled, expensive suit that I'll learn later was bought with money he embezzled from our joint account. Smile that makes people trust him. I trusted him once. I won't make that mistake again. I couldn't stay away. He says, and if I didn't know better, I'd believe the emotion in his voice. Emily, we need to talk. I let my eyes fill with tears. It's not hard. I'm crying for the girl I was, the one who fell for this performance. Is something wrong? No, yes, He sets the roses on the counter and crosses to me, taking my hands. His skin is warm. I remember how cold it felt in my first life, how he pulled away from my touch more and more as the months wore on. I've been a terrible husband. Marcus, but let me finish, please. He squeezes my hands and I let him see hope flicker across my face. I've been distant, distracted, working too much, not making you a priority. You deserve better than that. You deserve better than me. The script is perfect, practiced. I wonder how many times he rehearsed this in the mirror. You're working so hard for our future, I say softly, feeding him the line he needs. I understand. No. He shakes his head, and I have to admire the performance. There are actual tears in his eyes. You shouldn't have to understand. You should have a husband who comes home to you, who takes you out, who makes you feel loved. I want to be that man, Emily. I want to be the man you married. In my first life, this is where I broke. where I sobbed and told him, yes, we could fix this. I loved him so much, I'd do anything to make us work. I deliver the same lines now, but behind my tears, I'm calculating. Marcus needs me for the next 18 months. In my first timeline, his company went through a major restructuring. His mentor, David Park, was promoted to senior vice president and brought Marcus up with him, but only after a thorough review of all candidates. David valued stability, family values, dedication. Marcus's coworkers who were single or divorced were passed over, no matter their qualifications. Marcus knows this. Vivian dumped him a week ago and he's panicking. He needs the image of a stable marriage, a devoted wife to secure his promotion. After that, after he's safe in his new position with his new salary, he'll go back to Vivian. He'll cheat openly. He'll make my life so miserable that I'll either accept it or leave, and either way, he won't care. But I'm going to give him exactly what he wants. I'm going to be the perfect wife, the stable marriage, the devoted partner who makes him look good. I'm going to help him get that promotion. And then I'm going to destroy him. I love you, I whisper, letting him pull me into his arms. I love you so much. His cologne, expensive, bought with money he told me we didn't have, fills my nose. I feel him relax against me, tension draining from his shoulders. He thinks he's won. He has no idea the game has changed. Over his shoulder, I catch my reflection in the hallway mirror. My eyes are dry now, cold and clear. I let myself smile just for a second where he can't see. Welcome to your second chance, Marcus. I'm going to make sure you regret every moment of it. The next morning, I call in sick to work. Marcus kisses my forehead before he leaves, a show of affection he hasn't bothered with in months in this timeline, and tells me to rest. The moment the door closes, I'm up and moving. I have 18 months to prepare. In my first life, I wasted this time believing his lies, trying to be better, smaller, more convenient. Not this time. First priority, money. In my original timeline, Marcus drained our joint accounts gradually, taking cash here and there for his business expenses that were actually dinners with Vivian, hotels, gifts. By the time I realized what he was doing, there was nothing left. My own salary went to bills he claimed he'd pay but never did, to his credit card debt he swore was temporary, to his mother's medical expenses that I later learned were cosmetic procedures. I transfer 70% of my savings to a new account at a different bank. Marcus doesn't monitor our finances closely now. He won't start until he needs to hide his affair expenses. I set up the account under my maiden name with paperwork sent to my office instead of our apartment. Second priority, evidence. I know Marcus is still seeing Vivian casually. They won't reignite their affair until after his promotion, but they're friends, and that friendship has undertones he thinks I'm too stupid to notice. I need documentation of everything. Every lie, every suspicious late night, every dollar he steals. I install monitoring software on our shared laptop. Nothing illegal, just access to the email. Account he thinks is private. I buy a small camera and hide it in our bedroom bookshelf, angled at the bed. I start keeping a journal, dated and detailed, of every conversation, every broken promise, every time he comes home smelling like perfume. Third priority, allies. In my first life, I was isolated. Marcus didn't like my friends. They were negative influences who didn't understand our relationship. My mother was sick and consumed all my emotional energy. My coworkers were friendly but distant. When everything fell apart, I had no one. This time, I'm going to build a network. I text my best friend from college, Rachel Martinez. We drifted apart in my first timeline because Marcus always had an excuse why I couldn't see her. Not this time. Coffee this week? I miss you. Her response comes immediately. Finally! I thought you'd forgotten about me. Friday? Perfect. I researched divorce lawyers. The best family law attorney in the city is Karen Joe. She's expensive, ruthless, and has a reputation for annihilating cheating spouses in court. In my first life, I couldn't afford her. This time, I'm going to make sure I can. Her consultation fee is $500. I book an appointment for next week under my maiden name, Emily Chen. Fourth priority, myself. I look in the mirror and barely recognize the woman staring back. In my first life at this point, I was already shrinking. Losing weight from stress, hiding my body in baggy clothes because Marcus made comments about the weight I'd gained. Wearing my hair the way he liked it, makeup the way he preferred, smiling through exhaustion and misery. I'm 27 years old and I look like a ghost, not anymore. I make an appointment with a hairstylist Rachel recommended years ago. I join the gym down the street, not to lose weight for Marcus, but to feel strong, to reclaim my body as my own. I buy clothes I actually like, not the muted colors Marcus prefers. I make an appointment with my doctor to discuss the anxiety medication I was too ashamed to ask for in my first life. When Marcus comes home that night, I'm cooking dinner, his favorite, because I need him complacent. He kisses my cheek and I smile like I'm happy to see him. "How was your day, Shemaipes?" I ask. "Long. David's pushing hard on the Henderson project. I might need to work late this week." He loosens his tie and I see the text message notification light up his phone before he silences it. Vivian's name flashes for just a second. In my first life, I ignored signs like this, told myself I was being paranoid, insecure, crazy. "That's fine," I say lightly. "I was thinking of meeting up with Rachel Friday anyway. We haven't caught up in forever." He stiffens slightly. "Rachel, I thought you two weren't really close anymore." "We drifted, but I miss her. Is that okay?" The question is a test. In my first life, he said no, and I listened. Now I'm watching to see if he's learned to be more subtle in his control. He has. "Of course, babe. I want you to see your friends. I've been monopolizing all your time, haven't I?" He smiles, warm and genuine looking. "Invite her over for dinner sometime. I'd love to get to know her better." Liar. He hated Rachel because she saw through him, but he's playing the part of the reformed husband now, so he'll pretend. "That's sweet," I say, and mean none of it. "She'll love that." We eat dinner. We watch television. He holds my hand on the couch, and when we go to bed, he pulls me close and tells me he loves me. Every word is calculated. Every gesture is performance. I perform right back, and I'm better at it than he'll ever know. In the darkness, after he falls asleep, I open my new phone, the one I bought with cash, that has no connection to our shared plan, and start researching. I need to know everything about David Park's promotion timeline, about the company restructuring, about what Marcus needs to achieve to secure his position. Knowledge is power. In my first life, I was kept ignorant. Never again. Friday afternoon, I meet Rachel at our old coffee shop in the Arts District. She arrives in a whirlwind of color and energy, her curly hair pulled back with a bright scarf, her laugh loud and unashamed. Seeing her makes something crack open in my chest. Grief for the friendship I lost, rage at how easily I let it go. "Emily!" She hugs me tight, smelling like paint and coffee and the incense she burns in her studio. "God, I've missed your face. You look different." I've cut my hair. Nothing dramatic, but it's shorter, lighter, more me. Good different or bad different? Good, definitely good. She studies me as we sit, her artist's eye cataloging changes I'm not sure I can see yet. "You seem, I don't know, more present?" "I'm trying to be." I wrap my hands around my latte, letting the warmth ground me. Things with Marcus have been rough. Her expression shifts, guarded. Rachel never liked Marcus, and he knew it. In my first life, that knowledge drove a wedge between us that I let widen until we barely spoke. Rough how? I've prepared for this conversation. I can't tell her the truth. That I've lived this life before, that I know how it ends, but I can tell her enough. We almost separated. He's been distant and I've been struggling, but we're working on it. Are you happy? The question is direct, quintessentially Rachel. She doesn't do small talk when it matters. Am I happy? In this moment, sitting across from my friend, plotting my revenge, reclaiming my life piece by piece, I'm not happy. I'm furious. I'm grieving. I'm determined. But there's something else too, something I didn't expect. I'm alive in a way I wasn't before. I'm working on it, I say finally. But I need my friends back. I need you back. I'm sorry I disappeared. Marcus didn't like me. It's not a question. No. And you picked him. The words sting because they're true. I did. I was wrong. Rachel is quiet for a moment, stirring her coffee. Why now? Why reach out now? Because I died and came back, and I'm not going to waste this second chance. Because I know how the story ends if I don't change it. Because I need someone in my corner when this all falls apart. Because I'm tired of being alone, I say, and that, at least, is completely true. Something in her face softens. Okay, but Emily, if he's trying to control who you see again, if he's making you feel like you need permission to have friends, I know. I meet her eyes. I'm not going to let that happen again. She nods slowly. Good. Because you scared me, watching you disappear. I thought I was losing you to him. You did, I don't say. In another timeline, you lost me completely. I died without even telling you goodbye. Tell me about your art, I say instead, steering the conversation to safer ground. Are you still working on the installation piece? Her face lights up and we spend the next 2 hours talking like we used to. She tells me about her gallery show next month, about the teacher at the community center who's been hitting on her, about her mother's ongoing campaign to get her to go to law school. I tell her about my job. I'm a financial analyst at a mid-sized consulting firm, work I'm good at, but that Marcus dismisses as not a real career compared to his position at his tech company. You should come to the opening, Rachel says as we're leaving. The show, I mean, next month. Bring Marcus if you want, but come either way. In my first life, I never made it to that show. Marcus had a work dinner the same night, and I stayed home rather than go alone. I'll be there, I promise. I wouldn't miss it. We hug goodbye, and she holds on a beat longer than necessary. I'm glad you called, she says quietly. I really am. Me too. Walking home, I feel something I haven't felt in years. Hope. Not hope that my marriage will work, I know better. But hope that I can do this, that I can play the long game, set the trap, and when the time comes, spring it perfectly. Marcus is working late, actually late, I think, not Vivian late. Not yet. I have dinner alone and use the time to review my notes. I've created a timeline of my first life, everything I can remember. Dates, events, conversations. Marcus's affair patterns, his promotion schedule, the company restructuring, my mother's illness progression. That last one is important. Mom doesn't get sick for another 8 months. In my first life, I didn't catch the signs early enough. By the time she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, it was already stage 4. She had 6 months, and Marcus made every one of them harder. He resented the money I spent on her care, the time I took off work, the way my grief made me no fun to be around. He didn't come to her funeral. That betrayal, more than anything else, was what finally broke me in my first life. I came home from burying my mother alone and found him in bed with another woman. This time, I'm going to catch the cancer early. I'm going to save her if I can, and if I can't, I'm going to make sure she gets every moment of love and care she deserves. And Marcus isn't going to take a single dollar meant for her treatment. My phone buzzes. Marcus, working late? Don't wait up? Love you. I check the timestamp against my first life journal. In the original timeline, he worked late tonight too. I remember because I made his favorite dinner and it went cold waiting for him. I cried myself to sleep feeling worthless and unwanted. I order Thai food from my favorite restaurant, the one Marcus won't eat at because it's too ethnic, and watch a movie he hates. When I finally go to bed at midnight, I sleep soundly in the center of the mattress, taking up space. Marcus comes home at 2 a.m, smelling like whiskey and someone else's perfume. He thinks I'm asleep. He doesn't know I'm lying in the dark, awake and aware, cataloging every detail for the file I'm building. Let him think he's getting away with it. The trap is just beginning to close. My consultation with Karen Joe happens on a Tuesday afternoon. I tell Marcus I have a dentist appointment and take a long lunch. Karen's office is in a sleek high-rise downtown, all glass and steel and quiet power. Her receptionist is polished and professional, and I'm led to a conference room with a view of the city that probably costs more per month than my salary. Karen herself is in her 50s, sharply dressed with eyes that miss nothing. She shakes my hand with a grip that means business. Ms. Chen, she says, and I'm grateful I had the foresight to use my maiden name. You're interested in discussing divorce proceedings? Potentially, I'm gathering information. I've prepared for this meeting, rehearsed what I can and can't say. My marriage is struggling. My husband has been unfaithful, though I don't have concrete proof yet. I want to know my options. Smart. She opens a leather portfolio and clicks her pen. Tell me about your financial situation. I walk her through it. Our apartment is in Marcus's name. I moved in before we married, and he never added me to the lease or deed. We have a joint checking account, but separate savings. I make $65,000 a year. He makes 90. No kids, no significant shared assets except furniture and wedding gifts. You're not in a strong position, Karen says bluntly. Legally, you're entitled to very little in this state. We're not a community property state, and without children or significant shared assets, a divorce would be relatively clean for him. What if I could prove infidelity? This is a no-fault divorce state. Infidelity doesn't matter for asset division. It might matter for spousal support, but given your income and the short duration of your marriage, she checks her notes. 3 years? You're unlikely to qualify for significant alimony. My stomach sinks, even though I expected this. So he can cheat on me and I get nothing? You get your freedom, which is worth more than money. Karen leans forward. But if you're patient, if you're strategic, we can build a case that hurts him where it counts. His reputation, his career, the respect of his peers. You just have to be willing to play the long game. How long? Depends on what you want. If you want to file tomorrow, we can. You'll walk away clean, start over, move on with your life. But if you want to make him pay, really pay, you need to give me time to build a case, document everything. Financial records, communication, evidence of affair, and you need leverage. What kind of leverage? Karen smiles, and it's not a nice smile. That depends on your husband. What does he value? What's he working toward? What would hurt him most to lose? His promotion, his reputation, the image of himself as a successful, respectable man. He's up for a major promotion at work, I say, slowly. 18 months from now, it's everything to him. Status, salary, recognition. His boss values family stability. A messy divorce right before the promotion would torpedo his chances. Then that's your timeline. 18 months to build your case, document his behavior, protect your assets. We file right when it would do the most damage. She studies me. Can you do that? Can you live with a man you know is betraying you, smile and play the loving wife for 18 months? I think about my mother's funeral, about choking alone in my apartment while Marcus laughed in the next room. I think about dying at 30 with nothing, no money, no dignity, no justice. Yes, I say. I can do that. Good. Karen slides a contract across the table. This is a retainer agreement. $5,000 gets you started. I'll need you to document everything from this point forward. Bank statements, emails, text messages, photos, recordings if you can get them legally. Keep a journal of his behavior. Note every time he lies about his whereabouts, every unexplained expense, every piece of evidence that shows he's violating the trust of your marriage. $5,000. It's more than I have in my new secret account, but I can get it. I'll pick up extra projects at work, sell things, do whatever it takes. I'll have it by next week, I promise. One more thing. Karen's expression is serious. This kind of revenge, it has a cost. Not just financial, emotional, psychological. You're going to have to lie to someone you once loved every single day for over a year. You're going to have to let him think he's winning. You're going to have moments where you doubt yourself, where you wonder if it's worth it. Are you sure you want to do this? Am I sure? I close my eyes and see my own corpse, blue-lipped and cold on our bedroom floor while Marcus makes plans with his mistress. I see my mother's grave, visited only by me because Marcus couldn't be bothered. I see 3 years of my life wasted on a man who never loved me, who saw me as nothing more than a convenient appliance to be used and discarded. I'm sure, I say, and my voice doesn't shake. Karen nods. Then let's destroy him. The months begin to blur together in a strange double vision. I'm living two lives simultaneously, the one Marcus sees, where I'm the devoted wife working to repair our marriage, and the real one, where I'm methodically building the case that will ruin him. On the surface, everything is perfect. I make his favorite meals. I dress the way he likes. I go to his work events and charm his colleagues, playing the role of supportive spouse. When he works late, which is often, I don't complain. When he comes home smelling like perfume, I don't ask questions. I'm exactly what he needs me to be. Underneath, I'm someone else entirely. I photograph every credit card statement before he can hide them. Dinners at expensive restaurants I've never been to, hotel banu, charges in the city where we live. Why would you need a hotel in your own city unless you wanted privacy? Gifts from jewelry stores, flowers from boutique shops, all purchased on dates I can verify he told me he was working. I copy every email from his private account. Messages to Vivian start innocuous, coffee to catch up, advice about a project, but get progressively more intimate. I miss you. She doesn't understand me like you do. We should talk about us. The monitoring software on our laptop captures it all. Screenshots, timestamps, saved automatically to my secret cloud account. I record conversations where he lies about his whereabouts. Working late at the office, babe. While I can see his location on the Find My Friends app we share, and he's at Vivian's apartment across town. I keep a journal, detailed and dated. Every lie, every broken promise. Every time he snaps at me for asking innocent questions, every time he dismisses my feelings, every calculated moment of manipulation. The evidence grows like a tumor, dark and undeniable. 3 months in, Marcus gets called into a meeting with David Park. He comes home nervous, excited, trying to hide both. I play the encouraging wife, listening as he talks about new responsibilities, possible restructuring, the hint of bigger things to come. David mentioned the senior VP position might be opening up next year, he says over dinner, and I can see him watching me, gauging my reaction. It would mean a huge raise. We could buy a real house, start thinking about... He cuts himself off, but I know what he was going to say. Kids. In my first life, he brought up children around this time too. Not because he wanted them, but because David had 3 kids and talked constantly about family values. Marcus wanted a signal that he was thinking about starting a family, that he was stable and committed. That's amazing, I breathe, letting my eyes shine. You deserve this, Marcus. You work so hard. He relaxes, smiles, reaches across the table to take my hand. We'd be set, Em. Everything we've ever wanted. Everything he's ever wanted, he means. Everything I've wanted has never factored into his calculations. I'm so proud of you, I lie. That night, he makes love to me for the first time in months. It's performative, distant, and I know he's thinking about Vivian. But I play along because this is part of the trap. I need him to think I'm invested in this marriage, in his success, in our future together. After he falls asleep, I take a shower and scrub my skin raw. 4 months in, my mother calls. Emily? Honey, I need to talk to you about something. My heart stops. This is it. Earlier than in my first life, but the same conversation. I know what she's going to say before she says it. I've been having some pain. Abdominal pain, back pain. I finally went to the doctor and they want to run some tests. Probably nothing, but what kind of tests? I'm already pulling up my calendar, calculating when I can take time off. A CT scan, some blood work. The doctor seemed concerned about my pancreas, but I'm sure it's just, when's the appointment? Thursday, but sweetheart, you don't need to come. I know you're busy. I'm coming. My voice leaves no room for argument. Text me the time and place. I'll be there. After we hang up, I sit in the silence of our apartment and let myself feel it. The terror, the grief, the desperate hope that this time will be different. In my first life, by the time Mom went for tests, it was too late. Stage 4, inoperable, 6 months to live. But I caught it earlier this time. Maybe, just maybe, we have a chance. Marcus comes home to find me crying on the couch. What's wrong? My mom has to get some medical tests done. They're worried about her pancreas. He stiffens. I can see the calculation in his eyes, the quick mental math of how this might affect him. I'm sure it's nothing. Your mom's healthy. I'm going to the appointment with her. When? Thursday. I have that client dinner Thursday. We talked about this. I need you there. In my first life, I skipped my mother's appointment. I went to Marcus's dinner, smiled at his clients, played the perfect wife while my mother sat alone in a doctor's office and received the worst news of her life. I'm going to my mother's appointment, I say quietly. His jaw tightens. This dinner is important. So is my mother. We stare at each other across the living room. This is a test, and we both know it. In my first life, he won. I prioritized him, and my mother paid the price. Fine, he says finally coldly. I'll make an excuse. But this is really inconvenient, Emily. I don't bother responding. I go to bed and leave him fuming on the couch. Thursday, I hold my mother's hand in the sterile examination room and listen to the doctor explain what they found. A mass on her pancreas, too early to know if it's malignant, but concerning. They need to do a biopsy. Mom is scared, trying to hide it behind her usual competent exterior. She's been alone since Dad died 10 years ago, independent and proud, never wanting to be a burden. But I can see the fear in her eyes. Whatever it is, I tell her, squeezing her hand, we'll handle it together, okay? You have your own life, honey. Your marriage, you're my mother. You're my priority. She cries then, quiet tears that break my heart. In my first life, she faced most of this alone because I was too wrapped up in Marcus's drama. Not this time. The biopsy results come back 2 weeks later, cancer. Stage 2, caught early, operable. The oncologist gives us statistics, survival rates, treatment plans, surgery followed by chemotherapy. It's terrifying, but it's not hopeless. It's not the death sentence it was before. Marcus is furious when I tell him I'll need to take time off work to help with her treatment. Your mother has friends. She can hire help. Why does it have to be you? Because she's my mother. And I'm your husband. Doesn't that matter? Of course it does. I keep my voice level, reasonable. But I'm not abandoning my mother when she's facing cancer. He changes tactics, softening. I know, babe. I'm sorry. I'm just worried about you taking on too much. You're already stressed with work, and now this. I don't want you to burn out. Liar. He doesn't care if I burn out. He cares that my mother's illness might interfere with his image of marital stability. I can handle it, I say. He drops it, but I see the resentment in his eyes. It's the same resentment I saw in my first life, the seed that grew into contempt. He wanted a wife who existed solely for his convenience, and I keep inconveniently being a human being with my own priorities. I use my secret savings to help pay for Mom's treatment. The cancer center has a payment plan, but the upfront costs are brutal. I tell Marcus I'm using my savings, and he's relieved. It means he doesn't have to contribute. I don't tell him I'm also covering rent and groceries from my salary because he's been forgetting to transfer his share to our joint account. The hidden camera in our bedroom captures him with Vivian 5 months into my timeline. She comes to our apartment while I'm at the hospital with Mom. They don't make it to the bedroom. They have sex on our couch, in our living room, her moans echoing off the walls of the home I pay for. I watch the footage once just to be sure it's clear. Then I save it to my secure cloud and try not to vomit. Rachel notices I'm struggling. We've been meeting for coffee every week, and I can't completely hide the strain. She thinks it's my mother's illness, and partly it is. But it's also the exhausting work of pretending my marriage isn't a corpse I'm dragging around. You look tired, she says gently. Are you taking care of yourself? As much as I can. How's Marcus handling all of this? I laugh, bitter and sharp. He's not. Emily, he's been great, I correct quickly, remembering my role. Supportive, it's just hard, you know? Everything at once. She doesn't look convinced, but she lets it go. My show is next week. You're still coming, right? Absolutely. I need something good, something real, something that isn't this performance. Marcus predictably has a conflict the night of Rachel's opening. Big client meeting, I can't miss it. That's fine. I'll go alone. He looks surprised. In my first life, I stayed home rather than go without him. You sure? Rachel's my friend. I want to support her. He shrugs, clearly relieved he doesn't have to pretend to care about art. Have fun? The gallery is small but packed, the walls covered with Rachel's mixed media pieces. They're gorgeous, layered, textured, full of pain and beauty in equal measure. I buy one with my secret money, a piece called Rebirth that shows a woman emerging from ashes, her face fierce and new. Rachel hugs me when she sees I've bought it. You didn't have to do that. I wanted to. It spoke to me. She studies my face. Yeah, I can see that. We drink cheap wine and talk to strangers about art. And for a few hours, I forget about Marcus and divorce lawyers and cancer and revenge. I'm just Emily, supporting her friend, existing in a moment untainted by my dead-end marriage. It's the most alive I've felt in months. When I get home, Marcus is already asleep. Or pretending to be. His phone is face down on the nightstand, and when I check the location history later, I see he wasn't at any client meeting. He was at Vivian's apartment. I add it to the file. 6 months in, David Park announces the restructuring timeline. Marcus comes home elated, barely able to contain his excitement. It's happening, Em. The VP position will be posted next month. Interviews in 6 months, decision in 9, official promotion in a year, 12 months from now, 18 months from the day he came home with grocery store roses and fake tears. That's amazing, I say, and I mean it. Everything is going according to plan. He pulls me into his arms, kisses the top of my head. We're going to have everything. I'm going to give you everything. Over his shoulder, I catch my reflection in the window. My smile doesn't reach my eyes. You're not going to give me anything, I think. But I'm going to take everything from you. The countdown has begun. The next 6 months are a carefully choreographed dance. Marcus needs me more than ever. David Park's evaluation process includes interviews with candidates' families, informal gatherings where spouses are observed, casual questions about home life and stability. Marcus's competition includes 2 divorced colleagues and 1 who's single. He has an advantage, but only if I play my part perfectly. I play it flawlessly. At the company barbecue, I'm charming and warm, talking to David's wife about her garden and asking after their children. I laugh at the right jokes, nod sympathetically at the right stories, and when David asks me how I'm handling Marcus's long work hours, I smile and say, he's always been ambitious. I knew that when I married him. I'm just proud to support him. David beams. Marcus squeezes my hand. His competition's ex-wife showed up drunk to a similar event last year. I'm every inch the perfect corporate wife, stable and supporting. Internally, I'm counting down. Marcus gets sloppy with Vivian. The affair is fully reignited now. He barely bothers to hide it anymore. He's confident in his promotion, confident in my ignorance, confident that even if I suspected something, I'd never leave. Where would I go? What would I do? I'm just Emily, the girl who makes decent money but not great money, who has a sick mother and no real prospects. That's what he thinks anyway. The lipstick on his collar is a different shade every week. I photograph each one. The hotel charges on our credit card, which I'm no longer using, subsisting entirely on my own salary and savings, stack up. I copy every statement. His phone password changes. I install a keylogger on our laptop and capture the new one within a day. His text messages to Vivian get explicit. I screenshot every one. I'm going to leave her after the promotion, he writes. Just need to get through this process. David's big on family values, you know that. I know, Vivian responds. I can wait, as long as I'm the one you really want. Always have been, he lies. She's just convenient right now. I'm convenient, like a piece of furniture, a tool. I save the screenshots and feel nothing. I'm beyond anger now. I'm surgical. My mother's surgery happens 8 months into the timeline. They remove part of her pancreas, several lymph nodes, and a section of her small intestine. The surgery takes 9 hours. I hold vigil in the waiting room, drinking terrible coffee and trying not to think about my first life, where I was planning her funeral at this point. Marcus doesn't come to the hospital. He has a crucial meeting. Rachel sits with me instead, her presence solid and real. When the surgeon finally comes out and tells me they got all the visible cancer, that mom's prognosis is good, I break down sobbing in Rachel's arms. She's going to be okay, Rachel murmurs. She's going to be okay. My phone buzzes. Marcus. How'd it go? I don't respond. Mom's recovery is slow but steady. Chemotherapy starts a month later, 4 rounds, 1 every 3 weeks. I take her to every appointment. I sit with her while poison drips into her veins to kill whatever cancer cells might remain. I hold her hair while she vomits, rub her feet when they ache, sleep on her couch so she's not alone. Marcus resents every minute I spend away from home. He doesn't say it directly, he's too smart for that, but I can feel it in his clipped responses, his heavy sighs, the way he makes passive-aggressive comments about how much time I'm spending with my mother. She has cancer, I say flatly when he implies I'm neglecting him. I know, I'm just saying you have a husband too. Do I? The words slip out before I can stop them. He blinks. What's that supposed to mean? I could confront him right now. I could lay out every piece of evidence, every lie, every betrayal. I could watch him scramble to explain, to gaslight, to turn it around on me. But I don't, because my revenge isn't ready yet. Nothing, I say tiredly. I'm just exhausted. He softens, playing the concerned husband. I know, babe. This has been hard on you. On both of us. I just miss you. I miss you too, I lie. 10 months in, David Park invites the final 3 candidates and their families to his lake house for a weekend. It's the final evaluation, the last test before the promotion decision. Marcus is vibrating with anxiety, drilling me on what to say, how to act, what topics to avoid. Don't mention your mother's illness, he instructs. David doesn't need to know about that drama. Drama? My mother's fight for her life is drama. Of course, I say placidly. The weekend is excruciating. I'm the perfect guest, complimenting the house, helping with meal prep, playing with David's grandchildren, discussing politics in vague, inoffensive terms. Marcus's competitors bring their partners. One brings a new girlfriend, half his age, who can barely hold a conversation, and the other brings his fiancée, who spends the entire time on her phone. I'm poised, engaged, mature. I'm winning David's approval with every smile. Sunday evening, as we're packing to leave, David pulls Marcus aside for a private conversation. I watch from the window as they talk on the dock, David's hand on Marcus's shoulder, both men nodding seriously. When Marcus returns, he's trying to hide his triumph, but I can see it radiating from him. What did he say? I ask. Can't talk about it. Yet. But he grabs me, lifts me off my feet in a hug. It's good, Em. It's really good. In my first life, this was the moment I felt happiest. I thought we'd turned a corner. I thought his success would mean our stability, our future, our happiness. Now I know better. His success means nothing for me. It's just the stage where I'll deliver his destruction. I'm so proud of you, I murmur into his shoulder, and I mean it in a way he'll never understand. I'm proud of myself for making it this far, for not breaking, for staying focused on the endgame. 3 more months, 90 days. I can survive anything for 90 days. Marcus gets the official offer 11 months in. Senior Vice President of Product Development, $180,000 salary, double his current pay. Stock options, benefits, a corner office, a team of 20 people reporting to him. He's ecstatic. He takes me to dinner at the most expensive restaurant in the city, the one he always said was too pricey when I suggested it, and orders champagne. The real stuff, not the cheap sparkling wine he usually buys. To us, he says, raising his glass, to our future. I clink my glass against his and sip champagne that costs more than my weekly grocery budget. It tastes like ashes and victory. When's the official start date? I ask. 3 months. They're announcing it at the annual company gala. Big production. David wants to make a statement about the new leadership team. His eyes are bright with ambition. It's black tie, huge venue, everyone who matters will be there, including the board. Perfect, an audience. I'll need to get a dress, I say. Get whatever you want. We can afford it now. He reaches across the table, takes my hand. Thank you for sticking with me through this, Em. I know I've been distant, focused on work, but it's all been for us. For this. No, it's been for him, for his ego, his ambition, his image. I've just been a prop in his performance, but I smile and squeeze his hand. I love you. I love you too. The lie sits between us like a third presence at the table. That night, he makes love to me with more passion than he's shown in months. He's high on success, on victory, on the future he thinks he's secured. Afterward, he falls asleep with a smile on his face. I lie awake and finalize my plans. The next morning, I call Karen Jo. It's time, I tell her. 3 months from now, I need the papers ready. I'll have them prepared, she says. Final grounds for divorce? Irreconcilable differences. Infidelity, financial misconduct. I've documented all of it. The affairs, the stolen money, the lies. I want everything filed the day of his promotion gala. That's aggressive. You sure you want to do it that publicly? I'm sure. This is the whole point. Not just to divorce him, but to humiliate him. To take his moment of greatest triumph and turn it to ash. To make sure everyone he wants to impress sees him for exactly what he is. Okay, I'll need you to review the final documents 2 weeks before. We'll have a process server ready to deliver them at the event. He'll be surrounded by colleagues, his boss, the board of directors. I know, Karen's smile is audible and maximum impact. I like it. We discuss logistics, how the papers will be served, what I need to do to protect myself legally, how to ensure I'm safe when everything explodes. Karen's firm has handled high-conflict divorces before. They know how to manage the fallout. One last thing, Karen says. Are you prepared for the aftermath? Marcus is going to be furious, humiliated. Men like him don't handle that well. I think about dying on my bedroom floor, alone and unloved. I'm prepared. After I hang up, I sit in my car in the parking garage and let myself shake. 3 months, 12 weeks, 90 days. Then freedom. The final countdown begins with Marcus at his absolute peak. The company announces his promotion, internally, and congratulations flood in. His colleagues take him out for drinks. David Park gives a speech about Marcus's dedication and vision. Everything Marcus has ever wanted is falling into his lap. He starts spending even more money. New suits for his new position. A new watch. A new car. A sleek black Mercedes that costs more than I make in a year. When I ask about the car payment, he waves me off. We can afford it now, Em. Don't worry about money. But I've seen the credit card statements. The debt is staggering. He's been living beyond his means for months, betting on this promotion to cover his excess. The car loan, the designer clothes, the expensive dinners with Vivian. He's hemorrhaging money and assuming his new salary will fix everything. It won't. Because I'm going to make sure his reputation is destroyed before he ever sees that first paycheck. I spend the next weeks preparing myself psychologically. I see a therapist, paying cash, telling Marcus I'm at yoga class. The therapist helps me process the trauma of my first life, the grief of my mother's illness, the rage I'm carrying. She doesn't know about the rebirth, but she knows I'm planning something big. Revenge can be cathartic, she says carefully, but it can also consume you. Make sure you're doing this for the right reasons. What are the right reasons? Justice, closure, protection, not just hurt for hurt's sake. I consider this. Am I doing this just to hurt Marcus? Or is there more to it? He needs to face consequences. I say finally. In the past, he got away with everything. He hurt me, betrayed me, and suffered nothing for it. He needs to know that actions have consequences. That you can't just use people and discard them. She nods. That's justice. Just remember, after you get it, you still have to live with yourself. Make sure that when this is done, you can move forward. Can I? I don't know, but I know I can't move forward until I finish this, Mike K. Mother finishes her last round of chemotherapy 6 weeks before the gala. The oncologist is optimistic. Her scans are clear. Her prognosis is excellent. She's weak and exhausted, but alive. Alive in a timeline where she should be dead. I couldn't have done this without you, she tells me, holding my hand in her living room. You saved my life, Emily. I saved you by dying first, I think, but don't say. I saved you by getting a second chance. I love you, Mom. I love you too, sweetheart. She studies my face. How are you? Really? I'm okay. Are you? Because you seem, I don't know, different, like you're carrying something heavy. I'm carrying the weight of 2 lifetimes, the knowledge of my own death, the burden of revenge I'm about to unleash. Just tired, I say. She doesn't believe me, but she doesn't push. If you ever need to talk about anything, I'm here. I know. I leave her house and drive aimlessly for an hour, trying to reconcile the 2 versions of this moment. In my first life, I was planning her funeral. Now I'm planning her recovery. The timeline has changed so much, and yet the core of who I am, who Marcus is, remains the same. Some things, it seems, are immutable. 4 weeks before the gala, I buy my dress. It's black. Of course it's black. And elegant, understated. I look like I'm going to a funeral, which is fitting. I'm burying my marriage. Marcus sees it and frowns. That's a bit dark, isn't it? This is a celebration. It's sophisticated, I counter. I was thinking you'd wear something brighter. Red, maybe. Show you're excited. I'll look elegant, I say firmly. He backs down, but I can see he's annoyed. He wants me to be an accessory to his triumph, bright and smiling and fading into the background. I'm going to be unforgettable instead. 2 weeks before the gala, I meet with Karen Joe to review the divorce papers. She's done exactly what I asked, outlined every infidelity, every financial betrayal, every broken promise. The document is thorough and damning. This will destroy him professionally, Karen warns. David Park values integrity. When this gets out, and it will get out, Marcus's reputation will be in tatters. Good. Emily. She looks at me seriously. I need to make sure you understand. Once we serve these papers, there's no taking it back. Marcus will know what you've done. He'll be furious, probably vindictive. You need to protect yourself. I have a plan. I've already started moving my things out of the apartment, bit by bit. Clothes, books, personal items. Anything that matters to me is now in a storage unit Marcus doesn't know about. I've changed my banking passwords, secured my documents, made sure he can't access anything of mine. I'll be moved out before he even gets home from the gala. Where will you go? My mother's house. Then I'm looking at apartments. Karen nods approvingly. Smart. And you have the protection order ready if you need Ihitsad. Yes. The restraining order is pre-filed, ready to be activated if Marcus tries anything. I don't think he'll get physically violent. He's too calculated for that, but I'm not taking chances. Okay, Karen slides the documents into a folder. The process server will be at the gala. She'll serve him right after the promotion announcement, in front of everyone. Are you sure that's what you want? I'm sure. Then we're ready. 1 week before the gala, Marcus is practically bouncing with excitement. He's had his suits tailored, his shoes shined, his hair cut. He's rehearsing his acceptance speech in front of the mirror, gesturing grandly. He looks like a man on top of the world. He has no idea he's standing on the edge of a cliff. Vivian texts him constantly. I see the messages flash across his phone screen. She's asking when he's going to leave me, when they can finally be public, whether she'll get to attend the gala. He tells her no to the gala. Too risky, babe. Just a little longer, but yes to everything else. After I'm officially in the position, he writes. After things settle. Then I'll tell her, I promise. Liar. He has no intention of leaving me. He'll keep both of us, his wife and his mistress, perfectly compartmentalized. He'll have his respectable home life and his exciting affair, and he'll think he's won. 3 days before the gala, I pack the last of my things. The apartment is still full of our shared belongings, furniture, wedding gifts, kitchen supplies, but anything that's purely mine is gone. The movers are scheduled for the day of the gala, time to arrive while Marcus is at the event. Rachel helps me load boxes into the storage unit. She's been amazing through all of this, asking minimal questions, providing maximum support. She knows something is happening, but she trusts me enough not to pry. You're really doing this, she says, stacking a box labeled books. I'm really doing this. Good. She hugs me, tight. I'm proud of you. For what? For choosing yourself. The words hit me harder than expected. In my first life, I never chose myself. I chose Marcus again and again until there was nothing left of me to choose. Thank you, I whisper, for being here, for not giving up on me. Always, she says fiercely. Always. The night before the gala, Marcus is too excited to sleep. He tosses and turns, getting up to check his phone, pacing the apartment. I lie still and watch him, memorizing this moment. The last night of our marriage. The last time I'll have to pretend. Are you nervous? I ask quietly. Terrified, he admits. What if I screw up the speech? What if David changes his mind? You'll be perfect, you always are. He comes back to bed, pulls me close. I couldn't have done this without you, you know. You've been amazing through everything. The irony is almost unbearable. I'm glad I could help. After this, things will be different. Better. I promise. Kisses my forehead and I let him, one last time. No more working late, no more stress, we can start really living. I'd like that, I say, and it's not entirely a lie. I would like to start really living, just not with him. He falls asleep holding me. I lie awake, counting down the hours, 14 hours until the gala, 14 hours until I'm free. The day of the gala dawns clear and cold. I wake up before Marcus, shower in silence, and put on my black dress. I do my makeup carefully, smoky eyes, red lipstick, the war paint of a woman going into battle. Marcus emerges from the bedroom in his tuxedo and stops when he sees me. Wow, you look, intense. Thank you. You sure about the black? It's a bit... I'm sure. He shrugs and adjusts his bow tie. Okay, you ready for this? Absolutely. The gala is at the Grand Regency Hotel, a sprawling ballroom with crystal chandeliers and enough marble to build a palace. Anthropic employees are everywhere, dressed in their finest, drinking champagne and networking. I spot Vivian immediately. She's wearing red, vibrant, and eye-catching, hovering near the bar and watching Marcus with barely concealed hunger. Marcus doesn't acknowledge her. He's too busy schmoozing with board members and executives, shaking hands and accepting congratulations. I stay by his side, playing my part one last time. Smiling at strangers, making small talk, being the perfect corporate wife. David Park finds us near the appetizer table. Marcus! And Emily, you look lovely. Thank you, David. I smile warmly. Congratulations on assembling such an incredible new leadership team. Well, I had excellent candidates. Marcus here was the clear choice. He claps Marcus on the shoulder. We'll be announcing the promotions in about an hour. You're up second, right after Janet's Chief Technology Officer announcement. I'll be ready, Marcus says, and his hand finds mine, squeezes. He thinks I'm his good luck charm, his proof of stability and success. He has no idea. The process server is a middle-aged woman in a navy dress positioned near the stage. We made eye contact when I arrived, a subtle nod of acknowledgement. She's holding a slim leather portfolio. Inside are the divorce papers, all 63 pages of evidence and legal language that will obliterate Marcus's perfect image. I excuse myself to the restroom, ostensibly to touch up my makeup. Really, I'm texting the movers. You're clear. Start now. While Marcus is basking in his moment of glory, my belongings are being removed from our apartment. By the time he gets home tonight, every trace of me will be gone. I return to the ballroom as the lights dim. A spotlight hits the stage. David Park takes the microphone and the room quiets. Thank you all for being here tonight, he begins. This company has achieved incredible growth this year, and it's thanks to the dedication and vision of our team. Tonight, we're recognizing that excellence by promoting several outstanding individuals to our senior leadership. The crowd applauds politely. Marcus is vibrating with anticipation beside me. First, David continues, I'm thrilled to announce that Janet Corrigan will be stepping into the role of Chief Technology Officer. Janet takes the stage to thunderous applause. She gives a brief speech about innovation and teamwork, thanks her family, and exits to more applause. And second, David says, and Marcus straightens, ready for his cue, I'm honored to promote Marcus Chen to Senior Vice President of Product Development. The room erupts. Marcus strides toward the stage, confident and triumphant. He shakes David's hand, takes the microphone, and launches into his prepared speech. Thank you, David, and thank you to this incredible company for believing in me. This promotion represents not just professional achievement, but personal growth. I've learned that success isn't just about individual accomplishment. It's about the people who support you, the team that lifts you up, the family that stands behind you. He looks directly at me. I want to thank my wife, Emily, who has been my rock through everything. None of this would be possible without her. The spotlight swings to me. Everyone turns. I feel their eyes, their expectation that I'll smile and wave and bask in reflected glory. Instead, I nod to the process server. She moves through the crowd with professional efficiency, her heels clicking on marble. Marcus is still talking, waxing poetic about leadership and vision, when she reaches the stage. Excuse me, she says, her voice cutting through his speech. Marcus Chen? He blinks, confused. Yes? You've been served? She hands him the leather portfolio and steps back. The room goes silent. Marcus opens the portfolio, still not understanding, and his face goes white as he reads the first page. Petition for dissolution of marriage. What is this? He looks up, finds me in the crowd. Emily? I stand and the spotlight follows me. Every eye in the room is on me now, and I feel powerful, in control, alive. It's a divorce, Marcus, I say clearly, my voice carrying in the shocked silence. I'm divorcing you. You can't, he's sputtering, his composure shattered. This is a mistake. We need to talk about this. We're done talking. I start walking toward the exit. My lawyer will be in touch. Emily, wait! He jumps off the stage, starts to follow me, but David catches his arm. Marcus, what is going on? Marcus is frantically flipping through the pages now, and I know what he's seeing. The documented affairs, the financial misconduct, the screenshots of his messages to Vivian. Everything laid out in clinical legal language for the world to see. She's lying. This is all. His eyes land on Vivian, who's frozen by the bar. I see the moment he realizes that her presence here, after months of secret texts about being together, publicly looks damning. This isn't what it looks like. But it is. It's exactly what it looks like. David's face is stone. You've been having an affair? No, it's complicated. You embezzled company funds. David has taken the document, is reading the section about Marcus using company credit cards for personal expenses, charging dinners with Vivian to business accounts. Those were legitimate business expenses. You charged a hotel room in the city where you live as a business expense? The room is buzzing now. Whispers, gasps, shocked murmurs. I can see phones being pulled out, people texting, the gossip spreading in real time. Marcus's colleagues are watching his humiliation with barely concealed glee. He's never been popular, too arrogant and self-serving to make real friends. I reach the exit and pause, looking back one last time. Marcus is standing in the middle of the ballroom, still in the spotlight, holding divorce papers in his trembling hands. David Park looks disgusted. The board members are conferring in urgent whispers. Vivian is trying to disappear into the crowd. Everything Marcus worked for, everything he sacrificed me for, is crumbling in real time. Our eyes meet across the room. I see the moment he understands, really understands what I've done. The careful planning, the strategic timing, the perfect revenge. I smile. Then I walk out the door into my new life. The aftermath is spectacularly messy. Marcus calls 147 times in the first 24 hours. I don't answer. He texts constantly, angry, pleading, confused, threatening. I screenshot everything and send it to Karen. He shows up at my mother's house. I don't let him in. My mother, bless her, tells him through the locked door that if he doesn't leave, she's calling the police. He leaves. The story spreads through his company like wildfire. By Monday morning, everyone knows. The affair, the embezzlement, the public humiliation at the gala. HR launches an investigation into the company credit card charges. David Park personally calls Marcus into his office. The promotion is rescinded. Marcus is placed on administrative leave pending the investigation's outcome. 2 weeks later, he's fired for misuse of company resources. His career, the thing he valued more than our marriage, is destroyed. Vivian breaks up with him immediately. She wants nothing to do with the scandal. I watch it all unfold from the safety of my mother's house, my new apartment lease already signed for next month. I'm not happy exactly. This isn't the kind of thing that brings happiness. But I'm satisfied. Justice has been served. The divorce proceedings are brutal. Marcus fights everything, trying to paint me as vindictive and unstable. Karen demolishes him in every hearing, producing evidence of his affairs, his financial misconduct, his lies. The judge is not sympathetic to cheating husbands who embezzle from their companies. I get everything I ask for. Marcus has to buy me out of the apartment, the one in his name that I paid half the bills for. I get a settlement for the money he stole from our joint account. I get to keep everything I bought with my own money, everything I moved to storage. What I don't get and don't want is him. 6 months after the gala, the divorce is finalized. I'm sitting in my new apartment, small, affordable, entirely mine, when the papers arrive. I sign them without ceremony, send them back to Karen, and pour myself a glass of wine. I'm 30 years old, divorced, and alive. My mother is in remission. Rachel and I are closer than ever. I have a job I'm good at, friends who support me, and a future that belongs to me alone. Marcus has nothing. No wife, no job, no reputation. Last I heard, he moved to a different city trying to rebuild. I hope it's hard. I hope he struggles. I hope he learns something from the ruins of his own making. But honestly, I don't think about him much anymore. I'm too busy living. A year after the divorce, I get a letter. It's forwarded from my old apartment to my new address, marked with Marcus's return address. I consider throwing it away unopened, but curiosity wins. Inside is a single page, handwritten. Emily, I know I have no right to contact you. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I need to say this, even if you never respond. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the affairs, for the lies, for taking you for granted. I'm sorry for not appreciating what I had until it was gone. You deserved so much better than what I gave you. I've had a lot of time to think about what went wrong, about the man I was. I was selfish, cruel, I used you, and I treated our marriage like something disposable. I can't take that back, but I want you to know that I understand now how much I hurt you. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect anything from you. I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry and that you were right to leave. You were always too good for me. I hope you're happy. I hope you found someone who treats you the way you should be treated. You deserve everything good in this world. I'm sorry. Marcus. I read the letter 3 times. It sounds sincere. Maybe it even is. Maybe Marcus has actually learned something, grown, changed. Or maybe he's just trying to salve his own conscience, make himself feel better about the wreckage he created. Either way, it doesn't matter. I take the letter to my kitchen, hold it over the sink, and light it on fire with my stove lighter. I watch the paper curl and blacken, his words turning to ash. Some apologies come too late. Some bridges, once burned, should stay burned. I wash the ashes down the drain, pour another glass of wine, and text Rachel to see if she wants to get dinner. I have friends to see, a life to live, a future to build. Marcus's apology can burn with the rest of our marriage. I'm done looking back. 2 years after the divorce, I'm standing in Maison, an art gallery in Soho, looking at Rachel's latest show. This one is about transformation, women shedding old skins, emerging new and fierce. There's a piece called Phoenix that features a woman rising from flames, her face both beautiful and terrifying. That one's my favorite, a voice says beside me. I turn. He's tall with kind eyes and an easy smile. It's powerful. I'm Daniel. He extends a hand. Emily. I shake it and his grip is warm and firm. Are you friends with the artist? Best friends. Rachel and I go way back. She's incredibly talented. He looks back at the Phoenix. This whole show is about rebirth, right? Second chances? Something like that. We talk for an hour. He's an architect, divorced, no kids. He likes hiking and bad sci-fi movies and Ethiopian food. He's funny without being mean, confident without being arrogant. When he asks for my number, I give it to him. Our first date is coffee. Our second is dinner. Our third is a concert in the park, lying on a blanket under stars and talking until 2 a.m. about everything and nothing. He doesn't try to control me. He doesn't lie. When he says he'll call, he calls. When he makes plans, he keeps them. He's interested in my work, my mother's health, my friendships. He treats me like a partner, not a possession. It's startling how different this feels from my marriage to Marcus. 6 months in, Daniel asks about my ex. We're at his apartment cooking dinner together, and the question comes up naturally. It ended badly, I say carefully. He cheated, a lot. It took me a long time to leave. I'm sorry, that must have been awful. It was, but I'm glad it happened. He looks surprised. You're glad? If he hadn't been who he was, I wouldn't have learned who I could be. I think about that scared girl who believed Marcus's apology, who tried to shrink herself to fit his expectations. Then I think about the woman who planned her revenge for 18 months, who walked out of that gala with her head high. I'm stronger now, smarter, I know my worth. Daniel kisses me softly. Good. Don't ever forget it. I don't plan to. 3 years after the divorce, I get a promotion at work. Senior financial analyst with a team of my own and a salary that makes Marcus's old position look mediocre. I celebrate with my mother, who's 5 years cancer-free and planning a cruise. With Rachel, who just got engaged to the woman she met at one of her shows. With Daniel, who's moved in with me and is talking about the future in a way that feels solid and real. I don't think about Marcus often anymore. When I do, it's with something like pity. He's still out there somewhere, probably still lying, still using people. Some people never change. But I did. I changed everything. 4 years after the divorce, I'm walking through the park when I see him. Marcus sitting on a bench with a woman I don't recognize. She's young, pretty, laughing at something he said. He looks older, tired around the edges, but still handsome, still charming. He doesn't see me. I could walk past, anonymous in the crowd, or I don't even slow down. I keep walking, Daniel's hand in mine, toward the life I've built, the life that's mine. Behind me, I hear Marcus laugh. It's the same laugh I remember, warm and practiced and empty. I don't look back. Some people get second chances and use them to become better. Some people get second chances and learn nothing. And some people, like me, get second chances and realize they never needed the people who hurt them in the first place. I got my rebirth. I got my revenge. I got my freedom. But more than any of that, I got myself back. And I'm never giving that away again. 5 years after the divorce, I marry Daniel in a small ceremony at Rachel's art studio. My mother walks me down the aisle, healthy and radiant. Rachel is my maid of honor, crying happy tears. Our friends fill the space with love and laughter. Marcus isn't there. He's not invited. He's not part of the story anymore. The officiant asks if anyone objects, and there's silence. Perfect, peaceful silence. I do, Daniel says when asked. I do, I echo, and mean it with every fiber of my being. We kiss and everyone cheers, and I think about all the versions of myself I've been. The girl who believed in fairy tales, the woman who died alone and unloved, the phoenix who rose from those ashes and learned to burn bright. This is who I am now, loved, whole, free. This is my second chance, and I'm using it right. Later that night at the reception, someone mentions seeing Marcus recently. He's engaged again, apparently. To a woman who looks suspiciously like me. Same age we were when we met, same quiet demeanor, same hopeful eyes. I feel a pang of sympathy for her. She doesn't know what she's getting into. She doesn't know he'll break her heart, use her up, throw her away. But she's not my responsibility. I can't save everyone from their own mistakes. I can only save myself. Should we warn her? Rachel asks quietly. I think about it. In another timeline, maybe I would. Maybe I'd find this woman and tell her to run. But in this timeline, I'm dancing with my husband at my wedding, surrounded by people who love me, living a life I chose. No, I say. Some lessons you have to learn yourself. Rachel nods, understanding. We've both learned that truth the hard way. The music swells. Daniel spins me and I laugh, dizzy with joy and champagne and the sheer, impossible beauty of being alive. Marcus had his chance with me. 2 chances, technically. He wasted both. I'm done being his second chance. I'm done being anyone's backup plan. I'm my own first choice now, and that, more than any revenge, is the sweetest victory of all, the end.